the people, or many people, who taught ANC in exile, myself, were leaders, some from the Jewish community. So the ANC was an organization of knowledge, thinking. Now we have a problem I've been thinking about this. I'm going to South Africa because we have a problem that is developing and it's going to be more worse unless we take very proactive action. And I'm saying to this audience, because it's important we do it here as the Telford, former South Africans living in South. We have the people, a Jewish stamp that crafted the liberation of South Africa. We have nothing after. These people are gone. All the whole job, what happens? Who comes after them? That's the question. There's nobody. All the younger people who are Jewish and others have gone away from the ANC. They're voting today, they're doing this. Yes, that's the truth. Now you have a problem because in South Africa also, the Jewish community, they are sitting back, they are no more in the trenches of what are the challenges facing South Africa. The struggle goes on. One of the biggest problems we have in South Africa is lack of jobs, poverty, education. Where are the people? Somebody said one of the biggest backlash that's going to happen in South Africa now is the black middle class who after graduating and having done everything, they have no jobs. They've gone to the best universities, they've done this, they've got no jobs. They've got no jobs because nobody is bringing them into the mainstream of economy. Now we have a serious problem in South Africa because part of the people who are very influential in the economy are Jewish people. If you don't deal with this thing now, as the symptoms show in that statement, we are going to have a problem. We are going to have a serious problem because then the people who are wielding votes, Julius Malema, you all know, campaigning, they live on this thing. They live on who can make a very hard-line statement against Israel and everything. It's not a government statement. The government statement will come. And this one I didn't read. The government statement, I read it, and it's going to come, it's not going to be the same. So I can say that. But it's a task, all of us, that we have got to deal with. Now, Ubuntu reconciliation, quickly. I'm not going to answer all the questions. I'll give that others to take. Now, you see part of the problem, which we miss in this, and this question has come about Ubuntu reconciliation. The other one was, what was something special about South Africa? What made peace happen? What made peace happen in South Africa? There came a point at which the leadership of the ANC has been saying them, we realized that we've got no other place to go in the globe, all of us. Whites are not going to go to Europe. Africans are not going to disappear. We share only one piece of land, geographically zoned as South Africa. Everybody, as the baseline, had to accept that, and we all accepted it. There's no other place we are going to go to. This is the only place that we've been given in the world. So once you accept that starting point, the problem is it accepted here? Is that the same starting point? Is it?
By some.
By some. That's the problem. Secondly, the other question is, reconciliation is not a leader's job. Reconciliation is about everyone taking their step. When Mandela was doing big things, meeting leaders, meeting Africans, I told you I was in the struggle, and other police. Of course, I was shot at. People tried to kill me more than 9 times or 10 times. I've got a scar. I was hit by a cupboard. But one of the tasks I had to do in 1992 was to go to the South African embassy and host the new South African flag in the embassy in Brussels in Belgium. It was hosted by me. The ambassador was there. He asked me and my family to go and put the new South African flag here. And I had to start myself reconciling, meeting white South Africans across the board and understanding the past is over. And in the office, when I was an ambassador the first time, I was the only African with white South Africans. And I had to live with that and say, this is South Africa for all of us. So those are the small practical steps that are needed for every one of us to move forward. I will stop here. I don't want to take everyone's time. Other people will chip in and enrich, I think, the questions. The last one, the African, the Eritrean political question, that's for me. We have looked at this issue, discussed it as African ambassadors. Of course, it was quite troubling. And of course, it's a difficult situation. But when the delegation of the asylum seeker was received at the Knesset, we all said, at least the Knesset is listening, political leaders are listening, and therefore, let's not stampede the situation individually. Because it's complex, very, very complex. And of course, every country has an immigration problem in the world. There's immigration everywhere, difficulties. So we said, the problem we had when we could not be received, nobody was listening completely to you. We're not saying the situation is solved, it's not far from being solved. But we are treading cautiously, allowing the space. And there's a lot of citizens in Israel who are vocal about what should be done to refugees out of Israeli history and tradition. So be patient. I know you are suffering, but be patient. These things sometimes do work slowly. Thank you. Stop.